It is a great day to be alive in Pittsburgh, PA, and our entire morning, the last 24 hours or so, have been dominated by AI-generated videos of Mr. Rogers and Stephen Hawking. I don't know what the hell's going on with the world, but that's where we're at. Welcome in, friends, Yinzers, countrymen, to another edition of Kaboly+Mack. He is veteran Steelers reporter and correspondent for the Pat McAfee Show. Mark Kaboly. I'm Chris Mack, just a guy with a microphone in his basement. You can see we wore matching hats today, like a couple of little pretty boys. I did it because I was guilted by you the other day when you mentioned that head baseball coach and my neighbor Tim Vickers noted that I wasn't wearing the TJ baseball hat he got us often enough. So there it is. But now we look like idiots because we're wearing matching hats.
Watch this.
Oh, you gonna do the backwards?
I don't know. Is
or should I just put the Iron City hat on?
Could Colin Cowherd appreciate this?
Who wears a backwards hat? There we go.
I would wear the backwards hat rather than the flat bill.
Oh, that's terrible. Anybody over the age of 12, maybe 16, who wears a flat brim hat like that is... You just called me a tough guy a couple minutes ago before we started the show for drinking black coffee. Anybody who does that is just trying to be a tough guy.
Yeah, like you and the black coffee.
Drinking black coffee does not mean I'm trying to be a tough guy.
Absolutely. It's like the yins are back in. It's all that stuff. It's trying to
No. It is not on par with the yins.
Trying to show off your machismo. Look at me. I'm drinking coffee because I'm tough.
I just don't need to put a bunch of shit in it. Like I'm a 6-year-old.
Can I get some hazelnut creamer, please?
Oh, just a little cream, a little flavoring to it. You're just black coffee because you want to look at say, hey, give me black coffee because I'm tough.
No, it's easier. Honestly, then I don't have to worry about where's the creamer, where's the sugar, that. No, I don't ever have to worry about cream or sugar or who has it or where it's at or how old it is, whether it's expired.
It's like I'm not going to put any
out of the cup.
It's like I'm not going to put any salt on my corn. What do I? Then I have to go look for the salt.
What do I look like? An animal? Plenty of butter, plenty of salt on the corn.
Once again, but you have to go look for the salt and have butter.
I'm a kept man. My wife makes sure everything is out after she's done making dinner.
Yeah, so you're a tough guy, just like the yins are back in. And I've invented the yins are back in way back during the.
You didn't. I
brought
the yins are back in.
I didn't invent it. I brought it to the attention of the masses. It has to be 15 to 20 years now. When I used to be on with Kenny Laird and his thing, and we were always talking about that. And the cars weren't standard with backup cameras.
No, yeah.
So everybody was like, "Look at me, I'm back." Now it's just totally. It's something that's wiped off the planet of being needed. It's not.
Did Kenny do the yins are back in?
We always talked about it. I guess
I'm gonna have to ask him now.
He knows all about. He calls it the YBI. Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, he's like well respected now. Did you know that?
Get away from Pittsburgh to do that, huh?
Yeah, he's like the boss. He's like in charge in Boston now. The Odyssey sports station up there, WEEI. I was talking to somebody who works there part-time. Or no, they had me on before the Patriots game. That's what it was.
Why the hell would they do that?
You weren't available, I guess. Or you asked for too much money to do like a simple weekend radio hit. But they had me on the weekend to preview the Steelers-Patriots game. And they're like real respectful of Ken Laird. Like, he's the boss. He's in charge. You can't mess with Ken. And I was dropping all kinds of Ken Laird stories about how he used to have to interview midget strippers on Trib Live Radio.
It's probably
good old days.
It's probably still on YouTube. I think it is.
It's still out there. Josh Taylor every once in a while digs up an old clip and sends one to me.
Yeah, I see Josh. I see LeBar had that role too.
Kids, it's NSFW, as they say, most of the clips. But you can go back to a time when internet radio was just a thing, and each of us had our time at Trib Live Radio. And in particular, during the time when Ken Laird and Josh Taylor were doing it regularly, they often would have to would have to interview strippers from Blush because that was like their big advertising deal. Also, the reason I didn't stick around very long because that was their lone advertising deal, and they couldn't pay me.
Yeah, that was
big money Mac over here. Hey, thanks to Southwest Greens for supporting the show here on Kaboly+Mack. We're going to get to the Steelers and the Tomlin press conference in just a second. But look, you're tired of, you spent all summer working on your lawn, mowing it, watering it, spraying the fertilizer, whatever else you got to do, weeding it. How about grass that never needs to be mowed, watered, fertilized? None of that. Go to southwestgreenspa.com. Tell Jake that Kaboly+Mack sent you, and they will get you set up with a beautiful artificial lawn. Yeah, artificial lawn that looks and acts like real grass. Forget everything you think you know about artificial turf. This is not the crap that they used to have laid down over concrete at Three Rivers Stadium. This is legit stuff. This is good. Kids can play on it. Pets can enjoy it. And most of all, you enjoy having the best looking lawn in the neighborhood with the least amount of work. Check out southwestgreenspa.com. Kaboom. How excited are you?
Great job, Kill. Awesome job. But Artie, you deserve the Miners helmet here, man.
Penguin beat the Rangers 3-0 last night in New York. Artur
Great job,
Shilovs
boys. Like a lot of great individual efforts, great blocks.
with
like,
the shutout.
Always thankful for that. And let's keep rolling.
How about it? He beat Sully in Madison Square Garden. Let's go, boys. You're fired up, I can tell.
Oh, first of all,
Here we go.
was he speaking English? I couldn't understand him.
Yes, he was. Jesus.
Okay, number two was
You're
he
xenophobic.
Was he? I don't even know what that means. So how can I be it if I don't even know what it means? Second of all, is Crosby old enough to be his dad?
Ooh, that's a great question. How old is Shilovs? Let's see. Shilovs is 24 years old. So what's Sid now? Sid is there. Well, no, that would be weird if he was his dad.
And third of all,
Now there are some guys like Ben Kindle, some guys on the roster who he really could be their dad.
yeah,
Kindle's 18.
Yeah, you know what? I turned it on and I saw an empty net go, and I turned it off. It was like perfect timing.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
Did the kid have you watching the Yankees game?
No, he was watching YouTube. I ended up watching some of the Yankees. I saw that Aaron Judge guy. He might be good at baseball.
He might be okay.
Yeah,
I was more impressed with the Jazz Chisholm home run that got out of the park in 2.2 seconds. But
Aaron Judge was the difference there. We'll see
he
today.
was.
They play tonight, right? Again, I think they go back.
Game 4 tonight. All 4 series. The Dodgers and Brewers can sweep the Phillies and Cubs out of the postseason. Mariners can eliminate the Tigers. Jays have another crack at the Yankees. I know all Ian's come to us for hardball talk.
I call my kid Aaron Fudge.
So insulting.
What?
Aaron Fudge.
You don't like that?
You remember, I can't remember who wrote him. You remember there was a kid's book back in the day when we were little. I forget the name of it. But the main character was this kid whose little brother was called Fudge.
Well, I have a lifelong friends that we still call Fudge.
Of course you do. Of course you do. That makes total sense. So I don't know when the Pens play again, but they're 1-0. So don't win too many of those because you want the top pick. You want to win the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes. But there you go.
Considering he's coming from Penn State, and I wouldn't quite.
He's coming from Penn State because they're paying him a boatload of money to play there for a year.
Yeah, maybe they should take that boatload of money and give it to somebody else to leave.
Give it to James Franklin to go home.
I love how James Franklin, real quickly, it's like, okay, they can't get rid of him because it's $54 million, whatever buyout it is, but they can make his life miserable for the next couple of months, and he'll want to quit. You pay me $54 million, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I'll live through a lot of misery.
It'd be like George Costanza, and you put him in that corner office and don't allow him to use the toilet. I don't care. You pay me $54 million. So good luck with that, by the way.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. I will not be making any donations.
Oh, there's actually people showing up. I thought everybody was lost.
No, they probably were just waiting for us to get through the nonsense. Oh, I do have something, speaking of nonsense, to ask you about. We'll fit it in towards the end of the show if we don't blab too much.
I don't want to talk about nothing.
Oh, we're talking about it because your wife's mad at you. Your neighbor apparently pays attention to your social media. We'll get into all of that in just a little bit. I wanted to talk about what you were doing yesterday at work. Everybody was interviewing Mike Tomlin. He had his press conference, and you said, you know what? I'm going to do that Kaboly thing where I sneak off and talk to somebody else. And you talked to Juan Thornhill. And you asked him about the Ravens maybe being cooked. And he said, I don't want anybody to think they're done. They aren't. I promise you. I've seen them enough. I've played enough ball to know they got a lot of guys injured right now and a lot of bad things happening. But once they figure it out, I guarantee the Ravens are not done. By the time we play them, they will be back to form. So you see, I'm not the only one saying that the Ravens aren't dead yet.
Yeah, I mean, Juan Thornhill is a very smart man. I don't know. I mean, he seemed like, when I was talking to him, he seemed like definitely a guy that was believing what he was saying rather than knowing what to say. And there is a difference there. I mean, you don't want to go out there and say, there's no way this team's done. They stink. I mean, we've tried that a couple times with Patrick Queen, and he wasn't biting for obvious reasons. But it's true. I mean, you just have to get healthy at the right time, and you can't. There's been too much history with the Ravens being able to come back from things like this to just say they're dead. I could see if there was guys out for this season.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have guys out for the season right now. It might make their life hard going down the stretch, but it doesn't even matter. They could ruin other people's lives come December or whenever they play the Steelers as well. So hopefully it doesn't matter that at that point if you're the Steelers, but that's true. As for Tomlin, he doesn't even want to go that. He lies so much. I mean, it's what it is.
He's a liabetic.
Well, he says, we're not even thinking about the Bengals. Yes, you are. You've already did pre-scouting on the Bengals probably a week ago, but you can't come out and say that.
I mean, they'd be failing at their job if they hadn't already started to put things together.
Yeah, but you can't say that because then people like you be like, maybe you should have worried about the Browns, not the Bengals.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you get 72 hours between games, basically. I mean, you got to be prepared for the Bengals at the same time you're prepared for the Browns. Speaking of getting healthy, though, he mentioned, I'm a little surprised Highsmith could be back already. It sounds like will be back. Sounds promising anyway. Joey Porter Jr., a little less surprising. Jaylen Warren maybe back as well. Sounds like Calvin Austin III and Jalen Ramsey probably still on the outs for the next, I would think, at least Sunday's game, if not Sunday and Thursday.
Yeah. I just got a message from somebody, so it was a wrestling question, so I totally.
Oh, so it was really important and you had to jump on it right now?
Well, when it's somebody that has to do with wrestling and somebody of a higher statute limitations.
Statute is a law.
Than the Chris Mack and this podcast. Yes, you do.
Who was it?
I can't tell you this.
Why not?
Cause. What was your question? I forget.
Jesus Christ. The players that are coming back. Surprised at all that it sounds like Highsmith will be back on Sunday.
I saw Warren actually running through the locker room. He looked fine, but he looked fine last week. I would imagine he'll be back. Porter said he's being back. Highsmith said he's going to be back. And honestly, I think, Highsmith, if you heard what he was talking the other day, I don't know. He talks really quick in short spurts, but quickly. And he said out loud the part that we've known for a while is they've had a package in for some time with all three of them, Watt, Herbig, and him. But obviously that took a back seat once Herbig was injured early and then Highsmith got injured a little bit. Like I said, I think it was when did Highsmith get hurt? Week 3? Week 2?
It was early in week 3, I believe. Hold on, I gotta go back.
So what it was is they were going to go to that plan at that point, use it some, and then that obviously got pushed to the back burner. So we're worried about how you're going to get all three on the field. I think that's been in plans. That's been in the works not only from now preseason, but it's been in works last year as well. So I think we will see all three of those guys on the field in some way, with Herbig being that guy that moves around.
I stand corrected. It was early week 2 against Seattle that Highsmith got hurt. So,
and he was coming in. If you saw early in that game, they might have had one or two plays of Herbig moving around a little bit of where he needed to be. If you're going two on one side, one in the middle, whatever you're doing. So they're going to find a place for all three of them. I mean, they're not all going to get 90% of the snaps.
No.
They're all three will be on the field in critical downs.
I would suspect that this means they can be a little more judicious in bringing Highsmith back to full speed too. So, I mean, I would think they'll be a little bit more liberal in how they sub Herbig in for Highsmith until Highsmith is totally up to speed as far as conditioning and stuff like that goes as well. Coley actually has a really good question. If there's three of those guys on the field, who's coming off? One of the inside backers?
No, probably likely one of the defensive linemen. It's probably only going to be Hayward out there. A lot of times all four of them stand up too. They don't put their hand in the dirt. So it could be that amoeba type of defensive. Okay. So, I mean, I'm sure it can go both sides. I'm sure Peyton Wilson can come out as well. But I would imagine the first one off the field would be a defensive lineman. They would go more nickel look with just Hayward being the guy as a de facto defensive lineman.
You mentioned the hand in the dirt. I saw a clip. I don't know why it showed up in my algorithm, but it was a clip from, I don't know, an early to mid 80s football game. And I want to say it was the Chargers maybe against the Bears or something like that. But you could see the wide receivers with their hands in the dirt, like in that track stance.
Probably Dallas. Probably Dallas used to do that, right? Back in the 70s.
Everybody used to do it back in the day.
I should ask their wide receiver coach why they don't do that anymore.
Because it's dumb.
I'm just wondering.
Why did they do it back in the day? I never understood that. Like, you're not running track.
Well, there was probably a legitimate reason why they thought it was necessary at the time. I don't know. Maybe it was harder to jam somebody. I don't know. Maybe there was no jamming at the time. When did
Mel Blount made a career out of?
Yeah, but when did that happen? When did the Mel Blount rule come in? By the way, you can't say Mel Blount without saying, yeah, I think he can still play now. But
he probably could. He's badass. Mid 70s, I think the Mel Blount rule came in while he was still at the peak of his power. And then, so the clip I saw was definitely from the 80s, but it was wide receivers down in this 3-point stance like they were track stars. And I didn't realize that was still a thing well into the 80s. I thought that had gone out of style in like the mid 70s.
I just think certain teams did it, not all. Maybe the Bears did it too in the mid 80s with Willie Gault.
It must have been the Bears because it was a Walter Payton clip. It was of Payton breaking the record at Soldier Field in 1984.
You were able to see those clips in between all your Mr. Rogers coming off the top rope. And
you're the one that sends them to me.
Well, did you see the Bob Ross ones?
Yes.
Oh, there's some bad ones there.
You sent them to me.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
I send them to a lot of people because I think they're funny.
That's literally all my text threads and Instagram messages have become over the last like 24 to 48 hours. Bob Ross. Nothing but AI generated videos of Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross, Stephen Hawking in a half pipe. And like you just sent me the one of Stephen Hawking coming down from the rafters in the middle of the ring in WWE.
Bob Ross versus Mr. Rogers in the wrestling ring.
I saw that one. And Anna Nicole Smith walks Bob Ross to the ring.
I can see what you were Googling if that's coming up on your algorithm.
They're all in the algorithm. You can't get away from them now. There's one with Tupac and Biggie cutting promos on each other in the middle of the ring.
I just sent you, didn't I? Mr. Rogers talking to Tupac.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know. We have this amazing technology at our fingertips now.
And this is what we come up with.
This is what we come up with. It's amazing. You want to sell your home, you want to buy a home, you want to move, whatever it may be, the Dan Heck team here to help you get it done, and they will do a fantastic job of doing so. Check out heckteamhomes.com, H-A-E-C-K, heckteamhomes.com. The Dan Heck team here to help you. Like I said, buy or sell a home in the Pittsburgh area. Every time I come around a different corner, I drive through a different neighborhood, I see another Heck Team Homes sign popping up in a yard somewhere. They are all over the place. They'll get it done for you. Heckteamhomes.com, H-A-E-C-K. The Dan Heck team. We appreciate their support of the show. We should do some AI video.
Yeah, Lucky, well, not Lucky, but our buddy who hasn't been around since April. What the hell is his name now?
Relax Styles.
Yeah, he would be having a ball right now. Once he getting out of jail.
I don't know. You think that's what it is? You think he's in jail?
I hope so. I'd rather him be in jail rather than the alternative.
The alternative. Yeah. I don't know what happened to that dude. He did. He just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, he would be doing some great AIs. He had me follow. He had his own Photoshop where he had me like me and Aaron Rodgers walking on the beach. You remember that one?
Again, amazing technology at our fingertips, and this is the stuff we come up with. I wanted to go over some numbers because the last text you sent me last night, I should have made it the Kaboly midnight tweet, but it wasn't a tweet. It was just a text. Was Tomlin special, ? And the Tomlin special over the years has become the Steelers playing down to the level of an inferior opponent at just the wrong time. And this would certainly be that. We talked about how important it is for them to win these next two games. A 5-1 start would be huge towards not just securing a playoff berth, but maybe even winning the AFC North. Here are the numbers, and I saw you post some of these. Mike Tomlin, after a bye in his 18-year career, is 14-4. Mike good. Tomlin, I saw someone else post this, against rookie quarterbacks, 26-6. And this one is just a matter of record. 21 straight regular season wins in Pittsburgh for the Steelers against the Browns. We have to put the caveat of regular season because of the 2020 wildcard game.
If you look maybe right there, that press pass right there.
Uh-huh.
That was October of 2003 when the Steelers got whipped by the Browns at Heinz Field.
And that's the last time they lost to the Browns in Pittsburgh in the regular season.
There you go.
That's insane.
But they had all those. And Ken Carmen, hey, they have more playoff wins against the Steelers, and
they do. That's fair. But I don't believe in jinxes. Jinxes aren't real. So everybody jumped all over you after you threw some of those numbers out.
Did they? I don't look at the comments.
Yeah, they're thanks for jinxing it, Kaboly.
Oh yeah, like it has anything to do with anything. If I just didn't have put it up, that means they would win. Yeah, you're right. Jinxes are goofy.
Yeah, I think they should handle themselves pretty well on Sunday. They're playing against, as I mentioned, a rookie quarterback. They do have some issues to work out, and there are some other numbers we can get into as it relates to something Mike Tomlin brought up yesterday. They do have some issues to work out on offense, and it's, against a really good run defense and a pretty good secondary as well. The Browns defense, Tomlin mentioned called him Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz, their defensive coordinator, has been pretty good at tying the Steelers in knots at times over the years. They have the personnel to do that if they want. Garrett, I think, has had a pair of sacks against both Baltimore and Cincinnati already this year. So you're going to need a lot of extra help on him. But I think even in a low-scoring game, they should be able to keep Dylan Gabriel from carving them up. And they should be able to, even if it's ugly on offense, beat the Browns at home.
Yeah, I think somebody referred to Dylan Gabriel as looking like your middle school quarterback the other day. I'm like, yeah, it's basically what he looks like out there throwing. Maybe it's just him being a lefty. But he gets some pressure on him as well. I mean, a lot of those numbers that you brought up are Dick LeBeau-related numbers too, I believe, for quarterbacks, right? So I don't know how relative that is right now. But the bottom line is the Browns, even though they played, I guess, somewhat decent last week, they're still an extremely flawed team. They don't have a receiver. Jerry Jeudy doesn't even get the ball thrown to him anymore.
They got two really good tight ends.
Yeah, Mr. Judkins. I'm sure that they can figure a way to stop him. You put the ball.
You're sure about that?
Yeah, you put the ball in Dylan Gabriel's hands and say, if you're patient enough to keep hitting the tight ends and matriculate the ball down the field at 7 yards a pop, go have at it. And I don't know if will be able to do that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it goes back to the worry I had coming into the year. If a team is committed to running the ball and wants to, they're going to commit to attacking the interior of the Steelers defense. Until now, we've got a healthy Derek Harmon now, and I think that has been a huge help to bolstering the run defense since he's joined the lineup. But Tomlin mentioned it yesterday, it's a strong interior for the Browns on their offensive line, and they can run. Judkins has looked good. So I think they have an opportunity to run the ball and muddy the game up a little bit and keep it close.
Listen, they have to win this game. I think everything you said, the numbers are the numbers. I mean, you can fudge the numbers anywhere you want, but it's hard to fudge those numbers. But the bottom line is they've had 2 weeks off. They've been playing well. They got the majority of their players back. Of course, Austin's not going to be playing. Ramsey's not going to be playing. But that's a bad Cleveland team. You need to go in there, especially with what's on the line. You're looking 4-1, staring at 5-1 here, which is obviously with the numbers you brought up the other day is significant, especially going 4-1. It's once again numbers that they have to come out and not warm up to it, as Tomlin would say. They got to be on their A game number one. And see, I'm quoting everything.
You're pulling out all the Tomlinisms.
I'm not even going to do the Tomlinisms. I'm doing the Remember the Titans. Herm, leave no doubt. They got TA has to look at or Arthur Smith got to look at Mike Tomlin and say, leave no doubt. And that's what this game has to be. I don't want to see a 7-point game. I don't want to see a 4-point game. I don't want to see going into the fourth quarter being 17-13. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the Browns have a way to keep it close. I mean, look, they were ahead of Minnesota in the second half the other day. So they're capable, just by the way they play, of keeping it close and muddying things up. And I think it will be. I know you don't want it, but I do think it may be uncomfortably close going to the fourth quarter before the Steelers pull away and put it to bed. But as long as they win it, I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like, as long as they win it, I don't care how they win it.
I think you got to leave no doubt, especially against bad teams. And Cleveland's a bad team.
Since he's a bad team, too.
That's even worse. I mean, but they got the second coming of Joe Namath over there now, so Tomlin is shaking in his boots.
The backup quarterback situation, it's ironic you brought it up. The backup quarterback situation in the AFC North right now is like a bad game of musical chairs where everybody's deaf and has no legs. Like Joe Flacco to Cincinnati. They gave something up to get him. I mean, Joe Flacco wasn't going to play the rest of the year. They gave him a 6th-round pick to get the carcass of Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I guess apparently they didn't even look into Jameis and they didn't even look into Russell, which some reports are out there saying. But it's not a pretty situation. I looked at Rudolph yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever the hell I was down there, and said, you ever count the teams you could be starting for right now? And he just glared at me. He didn't glare at me, but he goes, pretty much every team in the AFC North. And there's a bunch of other ones too. So
probably a couple others out there. Yeah. But it's just, I don't understand how you think that's the answer. Like, what's the difference between Joe Flacco and Jake Browning at this point? So Flacco's.
Well, you don't need Joe Flacco past the next 10 games or whatever it is, right? So I can understand why they don't want invest in anything more. Just have him get through the season until Burrow gets healthy. He's not a long-term answer, right?
No, obviously not. Neither is Jake Browning, but there's no large difference between Jake Browning and Joe Flacco at this point. They're just
Except Flacco last year just whipped their ass.
True. Was it an ass whipping? He beat him, but was it an ass whipping?
When you look for Joe Flacco, hey, you think he's a Hall of Famer?
What?
Joe Flacco, man.
How the hell is Joe Flacco a Hall of Famer? In what world?
I don't say maybe not a Hall of Famer, but I bet you he makes that list, that top 100 list or whatever it is.
Top 100 of what?
Well, you know, that original list. They come out and say, these are the finalists. And it's like,
well, yeah, because he'll be a quarterback 5 years after retiring, and they'll be like, okay, put Flacco on the list. Sure, people can vote for him if they want. Like, Joe Flacco, no. We don't just throw every guy who won a Super Bowl into the Hall of Fame. Like, is Trent Dilfer a Hall of Famer?
He's thrown for
Rich Gannon?
700 yards.
Come on. Don't do this.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying he could go in, but, you know, I like to recognize him a little.
You can recognize that for a time he was pretty good at whatever it was he did, chucking the football up way downfield and drawing defensive pass interference penalties and
Gary Yinzer wording.
No, that's not a Yinzer thing. That's just a thing.
Go up and throw a Flacco. Come on.
I mean, the dude was. I'm not knocking it either. I'm just saying he was wildly successful at that for a while. Like that was his go-to.
He's played 18 years in the league.
Okay.
Just saying he hasn't played much over the past.
That doesn't longevity doesn't make you a Hall of Famer.
Well, some people it does.
Like who?
8. This last 8 years, he hasn't barely played.
Yeah, it's not going to be good for Flacco and the Bengals in Cincy. If you're looking,
Frank Gore has played 170,000 years. You break that up,
and I don't know if I'd call Frank Gore a Hall of Famer either.
He's first ballot slam dunker.
Oh, he's not a first ballot slam dunker. He had a great career. I'm not gonna, and he was the best running back in the league for a year or two. So he'd have a better chance than Flacco. Trust me. But he's not a slam dunk first ballot.
Who? Gore. Yes, Gore. He is. Yes,
no, he's not. Yes, you want to put everybody in.
Well, I don't want to put it. I don't want to put either one of them in, but I think he will go. But I will say this. I'm a bigger fan of a guy that has played 18 years like Flacco and Gore than a guy like Tony Baselli who played like 6, or a guy like Terrell Davis that played 5. Good 5 years.
So you hold on. By the way, if you want to argue with your friends about ridiculous crap like this, best place to do so while you're watching all the games, Archie's on Carson. Get on down there for 80-cent wings Monday through Thursday nights. They're open all day on the weekend, so you can watch all the games, college, NFL, all of it, daily drink specials. Get yourself an ice cold iron, get some wings, great sandwiches, burgers, flatbread pizzas too. Best place for food, drinks, and sports in Pittsburgh, Archie's on Carson. We appreciate Arch supporting the show.
Trivia tonight down at Archie's. He opens at 5, trivia at 8.
Ooh.
You know, we already got into your Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah, I like a good trivia. I don't get out for it as much as I'd like to. Anyway, you're trying to tell me that Frank Gore and Joe Flacco are more Hall of Famers than Terrell Davis?
Yes.
You're ridiculous.
Yep.
That's insane. Just because they were around twice as long.
More than twice as long.
Okay.
Terrell Davis had. Let me look at his stats while we're sitting here.
Terrell Davis was the best back in the league on a 2-time Super Bowl winning team, one of which he won with like a migraine when he couldn't see.
Great. That's great. Guess what he did? He played 7 years. The last 3 years, he barely played. So he has a 4-year sample size of being a Hall of Famer. Sorry, that's not enough for me.
Dear God.
You're a great
with Joe Flacco in the Hall of Fame.
He had a 2,000-yard season. He had a 21 touchdown season. He had 2 great years, unbelievable years, but that's not a Hall of Famer to me.
Jeez, your Hall of Fame would suck. It'd be a bunch of backup quarterbacks.
Baselli's the same way. I mean,
Baselli is probably in as much because he was one of the best left tackles in the game when he was in, as he was like the face of a new team when it was born. Like he was like the face of the Jaguars for like the first 6 or 7 years of the franchise, which I don't think makes him a Hall of Famer either, but whatever. We're way off topic. What was I going to bring up? Oh, I didn't pull the clip of it because it was kind of long and rambling, but Mike Tomlin yesterday was talking about how they use the bye week to not just focus on things that they need to focus on and get better at, but some of the trends around the league. And the things he brought up were big plays, turnovers, possession downs. So I went and looked some things up because I was like, okay, this is interesting that he mentioned these things. Right now, the Steelers have more big plays on offense than nobody. They are dead last in big plays on offense, just 10. They've given up 15 on defense, which is like middle of the pack, like 13th in the league. So big plays are not going their way right now. I read somewhere when you adjust it, and I'm going to give credit to whoever wrote it up. It was somebody from Steelers Depot. When you adjust it for a per play basis, like big play per offensive play rate, it raises them up to the closer to the middle of the pack. But that also calls out that they've run fewer plays on offense than anyone else in the league to this point. So they need more possession, more plays, period, and occasionally a more big plays. Because other than DK against Minnesota, there's not exactly a laundry list of big plays for this team.
I mean, last year they had a bunch of big plays, and what did that get them?
Pretty good start, 9-3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you can sit there and, as we talked about stats, and manipulate the stat to fit your argument however you want, and it seems like one of those things right there. Wow, he needs more plays. Need more plays. Sure, I mean, I don't take those. I think those are like down in the weed type of stats that really like are good for your story, but not good for reality.
I think they can be indicative of what's working. Like, clearly, I'm not asking the Steelers to put, 4 wide receivers out there and have Aaron Rodgers in shotgun every play and chuck the ball 25 yards downfield, because teams are going to, first of all, that's not what they're best at. Second of all, teams aren't going to let them do that. So, like, I totally get it. But if you're not putting up more big plays on offense, it's probably because opposing defenses are allowing their safeties to just sit back and keep everything in front of them. And opposing defenses are probably getting away with keeping their safeties back and letting everything funnel in front of them because you're not running the ball as well as you should. So I know they ran the ball better, obviously, against Minnesota. Kenny Gainwell had a really solid game, but they've still got to get to that regular. You got to run for more than 3.5 yards a carry. And I think they've got to use some of those bigger tight end jumbo sets to do that because, again, it worked last week.
Yeah, I think all that is, and that's what we've seen over here when the Najee Harris era, is you need some big runs. I mean, that makes that average go up quite quickly. And Warren against Seattle had that little dump off that he went 65 yards. You all of a sudden make that into a running play, and I'm sure these stats are significantly different. What you need is a couple big run plays to be able to make that average go up a little bit, and that's something we thought was going to happen this year that has yet to happen yet. Mostly because Caleb Johnson hasn't really stepped up into that role at all, and Gainwell is limited in what he can do, but you get Jaylen Warren healthy, I think he'll be able to bust a couple, break a couple, and
wasn't going to say anything.
Then all of a sudden, those numbers, they fluctuate. They're easily fluctuatable.
Fluctuatable is definitely not a word, but I appreciate you.
For 4 games into the season, so I wouldn't worry that much about it.
So he mentioned big plays, he mentioned turnovers and possession downs. Turnovers, we know the story. The Steelers are second in the league at +7. They've forced 10 turnovers. They've only had 3 themselves. So that's good. They continue to do that. They can give up a longer drive here and there, like the 17-play deal in New England, and still get off the field without giving up points in some situations. And I have no reason to believe that should start to tail off or drop off. Maybe if Jalen Ramsey isn't available, I think he's a ball hawk and very good at finding the football. So maybe it diminishes that just a bit, but you got Deshaun Elliott back. He was in on a couple turnovers last week. I still feel good about them getting after the football.
Yeah, I mean, even a guy like this specific week in Thornhill, he's not very happy playing against his former team that trashed him heading out the door. So he downplayed that. So for at least another week, I think he's going to be highly motivated. And Jabril Peppers too. I mean, we're talking about a high end talent right here that really hasn't gotten a lot of action other than the Patriots game. Then you had, I don't know how much he really even played in Minnesota.
He didn't play much at all against
Yeah,
Minnesota. I don't know if he had a defensive snap. I'd have to go back and look it up.
Yeah, so I think they have the players, and that's what makes it nice that they had a bunch of these guys. When Ramsey now will be out, you just slide Porter in, put Slay and Porter, put Eccles in the slot, then fill in behind them right there. So it's a loss, but I don't think it's going to be a loss that they can't overcome, especially against the Bengals and the Browns.
The other thing that Tomlin mentioned when he talked about reviewing what was going on around the rest of the league were possession downs. Coley, who had a good point earlier, brought this up on YouTube as well. Their third downs are terrible. Terrible, Kenny. And it's not good. I wouldn't say terrible, but it's not good. Let me run down some numbers. Third down on offense, they're converting about 38.5%, 20th in the league. Defensively on third down, they're giving up like 42% conversion rate, which is 21st. And then there's the fourth downs, which are a thing too. Tied for dead last in fourth down conversion rate. I think they're one of three, maybe. 33% it says. Fourth down, they have given up 67% conversion rate. A lot of that was that New England game where Vrabel kept going for it on fourth down. But that's bottom third of the league, too, tied for 21st in fourth down conversion rate allowed. That is one thing that I will say needs some improvement as well. You can't always rely on the turnover. As much as I suspect they'll be able to continue to draw some of those, you have to be able to get off the field after 4, 5, 6 plays and not give up these extended drives.
Yeah, I think the big play here is the third downs. Against New England, they gave up a lot of third downs and made it fourth and go manageable. Fourth and gave them the opportunity to go for it. So that's why they were able to go. Once you get within 4th and 1, 4th and 2, it's hard to stop. So I think they got to be better on third down to prevent that, make it third and long. And I don't know how well they've done with forcing third and longs, but I think just off the top of my head, that would be a position that they need to be better at.
Hold on. I'm still looking up the Jabril Peppers number. He didn't play a single defensive snap. 7 snaps, all on special teams against Minnesota.
Huh.
Yeah. Interesting. Thanks to our friends at Higgins Professional Painting. We appreciate their support of Kaboly+Mack as well. Family-owned business here in the Pittsburgh area and been getting it done for 4 decades since Don Higgins, the president and founder, founded the business. They'll do drywall repair. They'll do interior, exterior, give your home that fresh new look, some upgraded curb appeal. If you're looking to sell it via the Dan Heck team, look, it all ties together here. Commercial and industrial painting too. They do it all. They'll come over. They'll give you a color consultation like they did at Kaboom's house and then tell you exactly what's going to look best because they know they're going to be painting Kaboom's wife's office here soon.
Yeah.
And we'll get them over here. I told you they're going to do a big mural on the ceiling.
Of me?
No, that would be bad. But they're gonna come on over and do some work because we trust them. In our own homes, we're telling you, trust them to get the job done and do a fantastic job of it. Higgins Professional Painting. Get your free estimate, 412-344-0480, or go to higginsprofessional.com.
So if you're selling a house, you need it painted. You get Higgins to paint the Dan Heck team to sell your house. And when you're done doing all that, you go down to Arches and you get some wings and wash it down with some mango. And while you're at it, give Jake a call and get some Southwest greens over there and go get your nails done. And am I missing anything here, Mac? Go
It all
over to
ties
Southwest
together.
Village, get yourself a autographed. What's that jabron's name that scored last night?
Jabron.
What was his name?
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about the hockey game?
Yes.
Oh, so interestingly enough, I know nobody cares.
They have a couple guys heading down there, huh?
Do they?
I think Derek
I haven't
Harmon.
kept up on the schedule. Justin Brazeau had 2, and Blake Lizotte had the other.
So go get your Justin Brazeau autographed something or another.
Believe that may be the first time in Penguins history that all the goals were scored by somebody with a Z in their last name. How's that for a random fact that nobody cares about?
Pizza Hut.
You
go over to Yoli's, get some rolls to watch the game.
Could do that. It all ties together.
It all ties together. Get some mango.
Make sure the furnace is working before winter gets here. Call Impact. Yeah. It's a
They're
whole
all over the place. They're all over the place.
It's a whole ecosystem we've created here. Kaboom. I'm a big fan of it. I did want to play a couple quick clips from Tomlin's press conference yesterday. And one was talking about how I mentioned earlier. I feel anyway, I don't know if they will or not. I feel like they got to use that jumbo set with Calvin Anderson in there and Darnell Washington, extra linemen.
Spencer Anderson. One of the two.
What's that?
Or Spencer Anderson. But...
Yeah, what did I say? Calvin?
Well,
yeah, Spencer Anderson. Sorry, the Anderson twins. I get confused. Mr. Anderson. But here's what he had to say about that.
Did well against Minnesota with the extra tight ends, heavier sets that you had is applicable moving forward, whether it's against Cleveland or anybody else, or was that just kind of a Minnesota specific thing?
No, we have a certain personality, particularly when we play 4-3 teams. I haven't been bashful about that. That's why we drafted Darnell Washington. You can't play 4-3 teams with 250-pound tight ends. You can't. They're weight classes in combat sport for a reason. And so when the edge people are 300 pounds, you better have somebody out there that looks like that animal. And so that was our intentions in Minnesota. And so certainly as we move into divisional play in the next couple of weeks and we're playing 2 4-3 teams, chances are you're going to see more of that. It's unfair at times to ask guys like Pat Freiermuth and Connor to block 4-3 ends. That's not realistic if you want to have a real good run game day.
So the interesting caveat he put there on that is, well, against 4-3 teams and bigger defensive fronts, it makes sense to have bigger dudes out there. So I went and looked because I'm a dork and I look things like this up.
Packers.
Cleveland, Cincinnati, Packers, Chicago, Buffalo, Detroit, all more base 4-3 teams when they run base. A lot of teams don't run nearly as much base defense as they used to. 3-4 teams left on the schedule where maybe it doesn't dictate that sort of personnel group. Indy, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Dolphins. So they've got 8 of their final 13 games against what we may call these 4-3 base defenses. And I'm totally fine with them leaning into this Spencer Anderson and extra tight ends look because it worked so well against Minnesota.
Still, I thought Tomlin would be the first one to tell us there's no such thing as base defense anymore. You know, base defenses run about 15% of the time. Now we're worried about the front four here. I don't know. I'm sure there's different ways around it. Put it this way. If that's the way they want to go, that's fine. That's their plan. It's worked. But you then somehow have to get Freiermuth involved in some way. You just can't have him taking 18 snaps. He's one of your better offensive threats here. So maybe an addendum to that would be to somehow get him more involved in the
I think that'll happen naturally, honest, where I saw Alan Lazard rumors popping up on my timeline this morning because he's out for the Jets this week with personal issues. I don't think that's really any sign of anything to come. Although it's fun to throw out there and talk about. I think they're going to backfill, for lack of a better way to put it, the Calvin Austin snaps with some of the tight ends with more Freiermuth, with more Jonnu. That's how they're going to fill those reps. And so I think they can even go with some of these big packages, and it might not necessarily mean Freiermuth and Jonnu Smith are standing on the sideline all the
time. Until they don't, right? Until they go with Roman Wilson, Ben Skoranek, and guys of that ilk. So I don't know if I can really rubber stamp that as saying just by natural progression that he's going to get more. I mean, why wouldn't Jonnu Smith be a guy that be ahead of Freiermuth in that scenario? But I just think that there's a reason why you have these tight ends. Use them to your advantage, man. If it has to be as the wide receiver 2, use them as the wide receiver 2. But they have to use those guys because they're just as good. I mean, look what Smith did last year. I mean, he had 80 catches. He had, a dozen touchdowns or 10 touchdowns. That doesn't go away in a season. So get him more involved, and that's perfect. Maybe they just need a twist, a little twist here, a tweak there to allow that to happen.
Yeah, I just have no problem if the run game is being successful and you're doing it from that jumbo set with the extra offensive lineman and Darnell Washington and that whole thing. I have no problem continuing to do it. I'm not saying it becomes your base offensive formation or anything like that, but look, if it's 3rd and 4, you know what? I know it's not a running down. I'm okay putting those guys out there. And maybe instead it's a dump off to Washington in the flat and he steamrolls a corner and picks up your first down if the run isn't there, if they start to stack the box, if teams start to game plan against it. But as long as something's working, especially against a team like Cleveland that has a strong front 7, load up on offensive linemen and tight ends by all means. But don't see if you can't beat them at their own game.
He hasn't been bashful with that, so obviously Cleveland knows, right?
Right.
Do you have a counterpunch to that?
Counterpunches, you come out in similar formations with all your tight ends on the field, but you run a little play action and you start throwing the ball like you said, and get Freiermuth and Jonnu more involved.
If I am, that could be a way. If they do counteract with heavier personnel and more personnel at the line of scrimmage, then you should be able to use that to your advantage. Maybe we just didn't see enough of it in Minnesota or in Ireland to be able to make that.
Or maybe Minnesota worked out that they're able to use that game plan is a basis with which to play chess from down the line against other teams rather than checkers. Everybody looks at the Vikings tape and goes, man, they loaded up on tight ends and O-linemen. We better be ready to stack the box. And then all of a sudden they come out in a similar formation, and instead the tight ends are all out in the pattern, and you got different guys to throw to.
Yeah, one thing that they better be aware of is the counterpunch Cleveland's going to give them. When they come out with the heavy stuff, how is Cleveland going to react to that? And you're going to have to react off of their reaction. So, these are smart individuals, smart coaches. So you would think they'd have something in mind, right?
Yeah, reacting to the reaction to the reaction.
Yeah, they know that they went into Minnesota and they went heavy. So Cleveland's now going to say, okay, we will do something different to counteract this. Then the Steelers are going to have to say, okay, we anticipate this happening off of what we showed them in the past. So how do we then take that to our advantage? So it's a little bit of checkers, chess, Trivial Pursuit, whatever we want to call it.
Love Trivial Pursuit. I mentioned earlier, you want to get the furnace checked out before it starts to get cold out. The people to do it for you are Impact HVAC. We appreciate them supporting the show. You can message them on Facebook at Impact HVAC PGH, or give them a call, 412-297-1852. They'll come out, check out the furnace, make sure everything's running well before you got to fire it up for the first time, and you get that burning dust smell that you get when you fire up the furnace the first time. They'll make sure it's all good and you're tuned up and ready to go for the cold winter months ahead. Impact HVAC PGH on Facebook, or 412-297-1852. We appreciate their support of the show as well. Why? So just a little behind the curtain here. We have this thing on the side of the screen that's called private chat, where we can communicate with each other if we want to, right? Because we should probably use it more, because sometimes you'll text me during the show and I don't stare at my phone during the show like you.
An important meeting and you don't respond to it.
Right. So Don't tell people we have important meetings. I don't need to know about things before they happen. So I see something pop up in the private chat. So I go over and I click on it. I was like, oh, I wonder if he has a good point to bring up here or something to say. Like, do I have a booger hanging out of my nose or what? No, it just says F-U. Literally 2 letters. F-U.
I wanted to see.
Did you just discover the private chat feature?
Yeah, I wanted to see if it actually worked. So I was going to say, hi, how are you doing today, Chris? No,
I mean, you could have just typed in test.
No.
Does this work?
F you. I send that to Crowley all the time too. So I got your reaction. So it does work. I've never used that before. So
I think
now
you
we
have
know it works.
actually, and you just forgot about it. But
Have we used it before?
You've typed something in there before, and I think said the exact same thing like 2-3
Why don't
months
you
ago.
type something in and let's see if it pops up? Wait, no. Does it give you a message like something's there?
Yeah, it pops up with a little where it says private chat on the side. A little one, like a little red notification number pops up.
Well, put something in there so I can goddamn see it. So I know what I'm looking for. Oh, okay.
See that?
Okay, and it says FU2.
But not a number 2, because that would be.
All right, I just so I know how the process works, how the sausage gets made.
I'll keep an eye out for the private chat. I'm sure you're going to drop some very insightful comments in there. You mentioned Roman Wilson earlier, and Mike Tomlin was asked about him yesterday.
Hasn't been utilized much, if at all, the first month or so. Is that more about the guys ahead of him than anything he may or may not be?
Or it might just be our selection of personnel groups. We've been talking a lot about multiple tight ends. Spencer Anderson reporting is eligible, the utilization of multiple tight end groups. And so his lack of participation might not mean anything relative to his performance or either what's going on at his position. It might just mean how we choose to deploy our personnel groups through the first month of the season. And so it's still very early in this process. We got 13 straight games ahead of us, so keep watching.
Do we really think Roman Wilson's actually going to get used?
You know, I always think that, different personnel groupings, the Vikings would sit Justin Jefferson, or the Rams sit Devontae Adams, and so on and so forth. No, you don't set. If he was playing well and they had confidence in him to be able to produce plays, he would be out there, right? I mean, they're not going to say, well, our personnel groupings with Brent Skoranek and Scotty Miller, we like that more than just having one of our potential best wide receivers out there. And the weird thing is he had a great offseason. He had a great camp. He had a great training camp. They were talking him up like he was the second coming of Lance Allworth a week or two before the season. Off the record conversations, then all of a sudden, kaput.
3 snaps against Minnesota.
I hear you. I understand that. I do.
Look, I understand it if legitimately you're using this, like we keep talking about, the jumbo offensive line, multiple tight end sets, and he doesn't get as many snaps, right? Like, I totally understand that. If you look at the wide receiver snaps, Calvin Austin had 27. Okay, he got hurt. Skoranek had 18. Scotty Miller had 13. He had 10 more snaps than Roman Wilson. So that tells you right there that it's not a personnel grouping thing. That means unless you got 4 wide receivers on the field, which almost never happens in this offense, you're not going to see Roman Wilson.
Well, I think the in-game injury hurt Roman Wilson more than anything else. In-game to Austin. I mean, Skoranek's a veteran, probably played thousands of snaps in this league. Same with Scotty Miller. Do you just want to throw a guy that has 5 career snaps in there at that point? Probably not. Probably be more comfortable having him go through the season go through the week as a starter, and you feel more comfortable with him. I just don't think that was the case.
Like, I don't know how do you get a guy ready to play in a game if he doesn't play in a game? Like, that's the thing that I don't get.
Well, this week,
against Skoranek or Scotty Miller, like you said, decent veteran receivers who know what to do and where to be, and maybe have a good relationship with Rodgers, whatever it may be. But Rodgers was talking up Roman Wilson just a month ago. Everybody was, like you said, and now it's poof. He's like Kaiser Soze. He's just gone.
I have no idea who Kaiser Soze is. Oh my god! See, some kind of.
It's a movie.
No idea. Well,
You really don't.
why would I watch anything with the name Kai? Only thing I
No,
know,
the movie, The Usual Suspects. You've never heard of that movie?
I've heard of it, but I never watched it. Why would I watch that crap?
Because it's actually a really good movie.
I don't watch movies anymore.
Do you like? It's not a Tarantino movie, but do you like Tarantino movies?
Name some of them.
Pulp Fiction.
Never watched it.
Hold on.
Probably not all the way through. I've watched bits and pieces.
You've never seen Pulp Fiction?
I've seen bits and pieces.
Dear Lord. Get educated.
Well, I'm real educated by watching a Tarantino movie. Yeah, I'm losing a lot of sleep over that. My life's not going to be full.
You don't sleep anyway. What the hell else are you going to do when you wake up at 2 a.m. and can't go back to bed?
No, I can go back to bed. I just keep waking up. Yeah, honestly, my life is going to be fulfilled because I know what the Pulp Fiction's all about.
It's a good movie. The Usual Suspects is a good movie. Anyway.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I said Roman Wilson, poof, up and vanishes like Kaiser Soze.
I said this. If Roman Wilson, if the same situation happens this week, that would be more concerned if he doesn't get any snaps. Because he has 4 days of preparing to play.
Bonus day, too.
Well, bonus day is gone, so it's not bonus anymore.
Well, you would think.
Boner day.
You would think he was involved on bonus day. Yeah, you've never heard a Royale with cheese? What do they call Big Mac in France? It's Royale with cheese.
Yeah, I don't plan on going to France.
You shot Marvin.
I have no idea what that you're talking about.
God damn it, man. Pulp Fiction.
I've watched parts of it. It was kind of goofy.
What's Fonzie?
It's no Shawshank.
I really think, like, if it's not on basic cable constantly, you don't watch it.
It pops up. I mean, the Replacements were on again the other day.
You called a remote the clicker the other day. I really think you sit there and just flip through the channels.
Adam Sandler had a movie called Click, so...
What the hell? Yeah, 25 years ago.
Well, it's still a clicker.
It's not a clicker.
Honestly, I really like older, dated language better. You know, all these young kids are going 6'7", 6'7". I use clicker.
Yeah, that's why you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, a 31-year-old movie, because they talk like kids in it. That's exactly why you haven't seen it. Or The Usual Suspects, which is a 30-year-old movie. You're just you're just a grumpy old man.
What's the one where it starts off? I have watched that one. I don't know the name of it. Where they start off in Germany. I was a big war guy, big war movie, and the guy was trying to kill all the Jews in Germany.
Inglorious Bastards.
Yes, and he was drinking the milk. This is some tasty milk. Yeah.
That's a bingo.
It's a little long. But
that's a Tarantino movie.
Is it? There you go then.
Yeah.
I don't list my movies by directors.
Well, no, but you know a Tarantino movie if you've seen it because of the way it's structured. I took a film class in college, so I think I'm smart about this shit. Speaking of you being a grumpy old man, though,
I don't want to.
Did we resolve the issue with the neighbor who was backing out of their garage and parking in front of your house every day?
Why would you ask this?
Because you brought it up on social media. So why wouldn't we bring it up here? People want to know. They want to know what happened other than what you tweeted last night, which was the neighbor walked out in the middle of the afternoon, put his car back in the garage.
Yeah, I might have been in the wrong.
What? Oh, is there more information here?
You remember the eye emojis text this morning?
Yeah.
Well, drop the kids off at the bus stop and come back, and that goddamn inflatable doll fell over. So I'm trying to pick, the
Halloween. What inflatable doll? Do you have like a Halloween decoration in the yard?
I'm trying to get it up, and I hear somebody says, "You got a minute?" I'm like, "What's going on?"
Uh-oh.
I look, and I'm like, "Oh shit, it's the neighbor." I'm like, what? I can't hear you because it's blowing my. You got a second? I'm like, oh God, how do I get out of this one now?
Nope, too late. You open your mouth. You opened your Twitter fingers.
Yeah, I probably should have.
So what did the neighbor have to say?
Well, if you know our,
Was he pissed or was he cool about it?
yeah, he was nice. It was a newer. See,
I'd have
this,
been pissed.
this is
I'd be
where I
like,
got.
why are you sending out tweets about me, man?
That's I got to realize that I was a Giant Eagle yesterday getting a prescription, and the guy goes, "Yeah, you're on the McAfee show." I'm like, God damn it! I'm like, now he knows what like medications you take, but I gotta realize that once you tweet something, it goes out to 100 and some odd thousand people, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But well, if you in our neighborhood, they put in your driveway, right? They wait a year for it to settle, then they put a second coat on, right?
Okay.
Moved in a couple months ago across the street. And apparently they are putting on this second coat like 2 months in, unbeknownst to me.
So he wasn't allowed to park on it.
So they told him to park over somewhere else because they're going to come and resurface it. So I was like, oh, shit.
You felt like a giant jack.
Well, you can see where I screwed up at.
So hold on.
Why are you redoing it like 3 months in? It's supposed to be a year. So I said, oh, you guys, you better be careful there. I'm trying to change the subject.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful there because there's some settling going on there. I didn't think you're supposed to do it that quickly.
So you mentioned that this guy was parking in front of your house every day. It was just for a few days.
Oh, I've noticed it for a week, but apparently now I think about it, there's a second section of my place that they're all doing this to.
Okay.
And they told those guys to not park on the street. Little I never remember this was like the last house
built
on my
neighborhood.
section. But yeah.
So you guys worked everything out. You're cool now.
Yeah, I just tucked
your tail and ran,
and just walked in the house.
Did you at least apologize?
I said, you know what I did? I did one of these. I said, don't worry about it. I said that was just a gimmick, a shtick.
Who wasn't? You called the dude out on social media.
Dude, I had no time to think.
You didn't need to think. All you had to say was, "I'm sorry, man. I was just in a shitty mood and I couldn't understand what was going on. I shouldn't have done it. My bad."
It was a shtick.
I got some cold mangoes in the garage. You want one? And everything would have been good. It would have been a great peace offering.
I guess I feel bad now. I gotta learn.
You got to make this right.
My mouth shut.
You got to make this right somehow. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I do like Gran Torino. Good movie. But, I mean, I would have never guessed that they were redoing it 2 months. It shouldn't have been. So
you're blaming it on the asphalt people now. You're blaming it on the asphalt people.
The asphalt people were asked something. They take the fault out.
Well, here, I'm going to handle
it. Put it this way. This will not be brought up to the missus. It has disappeared.
Wait, I thought she was mad at you.
Well, not part 2. Where it's like, what are you worrying about? Who cares? Your neighbors, you're going to hate us. I'm like, all of a sudden.
So she doesn't know that he confronted you?
No part 2. So I better not be I better not see no reels up there, for God's sake.
Oh, my God.
Better not see any reels up there.
Why wouldn't you just tell her?
She's at work. Hey, by the way.
No, this happened yesterday afternoon.
I'll get yelled at for 20 minutes. I ain't doing that. Some things are left between
left unsaid.
Me, you, and the fence post.
And everybody watching right now.
Oh my God!
You owe this dude across the street. You need to take him some mangoes as a peace offering, and just say, "Hey, my bad."
You know what? I always wonder this too: is this a person that follows me, or just he was told about it?
It's a good question.
I don't know.
Well, either way, he must know who you are because he's either told friends of his that he lives across the street from Kaboly, or he recognized you in the first place. Because either way, he saw it himself and goes, shit, Kaboly's my neighbor. Why wouldn't he just say something to me directly?
Oh, shit. You're a real asshole.
Or one of his friends saw it and said, hey, you know how you told me Kaboly lives across the street from you? Look what he said.
Yeah. He's a real asshole, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is where it will go to die. This will be not brought up anymore.
Real quick.
Even I'm allowed to mess up once in a while.
Yeah, even you, Mr. Perfect. Real quick, make a pick on the Eagles-Giants game for tomorrow night so we have it on the record.
What's that?
Jesus
I was looking at another.
It's like talking to a.
No, I got about six more. I got about 6 more messages, but from the great Nick Moraldo. That's why. Okay, what do you want?
Does Moraldo want to have you on the show today? Talk about your neighbor?
No, he's gonna ask me something, but it has nothing to do with me. So I'm not giving away nothing.
Eagles at Giants tomorrow night. Who wins?
Eagles at Giants suck. Oh,
yeah,
no.
They do. Pick a winner.
I'm picking the Eagles.
I think I am too. Part of me wanted to go Giants, but just because the Eagles' offense has been terrible. But I think Saquon will have a day. So, yeah, we'll both take the Eagles for that one. You're a game behind me in the picks contest, but plenty of time left. You'll make up ground. If not, you can post about it on Twitter.
All right, can we end this? Because apparently I got to go on a different radio show.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon. Hey, don't forget to follow on all the social media, including Instagram, chance to win that $100 Yoli's gift certificate. And make sure you're subscribed on YouTube. When we get to 3,018 subscribers, somebody will get their choice. Either an autographed Will Howard helmet or that Stone Cold Steve Austin autographed vest. We'll talk to you on Fridays.